All right, Coach. Obviously a very, very tight game. You guys did a lot of great things offensively and defensively. Just a couple things didn't go your way in the Central Washington game. Where do you go from here? How do you approach another? You don't have a lot of time to dwell on that game. You got another tough opponent and a tough road trip.
No matter whether win or lose, what you do, and then when you answer that question, what do you go forward? It's you just go back to work. Whether we won or whether we lose, the same situation. You got to get back at it. One of the things we talk about in our program is, excellence isn't so much of the data point. Yes, you want to win. That was the goal, to win. We did some things well. We did some things that were untimely that we needed to do better, and particularly the red zone offense. We had our opportunities. So excellence is going to come through the process. So that's for us. It's everything we talked about with our players, everything we talked about, our coaching staff, our firm convictions and beliefs, that we get back to the process of this week. You evaluate yourself with a real honest lens, and whether win or lose, you got to say, man, what do we got to do to get better? What do we got to do to help our players get better? What do we got to do to create an environment that is the best human performance environment possible? And so, that's where we're at.
Okay, let's go to Steve.
Talk about what you have to do with this week's opponent. Obviously, you've played them, so you have film in that game. Do you just make those adjustments off the mistakes you made, or what's kind of the thing you do?
You do look at that. You say, okay, what are the adjustments off the mistakes we made? And then you also want to see how they evolved through the whole season. I think one of the things I'm going to credit them and their staff is they're very efficient at what they do. They execute their stuff very well. They have a system offensively that you can see every week. They're just trying to do the same thing through various formations, it creates an imbalance to the defense, but yet keeps them balanced. And so their players aren't necessarily taxed every single week, and so that's a credit to where they are. And so system-wise for us, we've been in those moments before too, and so we're right now in an evolution that I'm excited to be a part about, and we're on a great team. I mean, I love these guys, and it's a great day to go to work every day with them, and you get to say, okay, how do we make it better and more efficient for you? How do we enhance our systems? And so offensively, defensively, special teams, that's where we're at right now, trying to get prepared for our next opponent.
Now, you always talk about wanting to get better each day.
Yeah.
But this game is kind of almost a must-win towards the conference. Obviously, you don't want to fall 2 games behind them.
Yeah, I would say yes, you're right on the point. But on the other hand, it's every game, every week's a must-win, and never go into a week saying, this one's okay if you lose. So so everything's a must-win, and so that goes back to my initial statement. What I'm most proud about this program, there's a spirit of excellence that's in it, from the coaching staff to the administration to the players. We get it. It's like every day you wake up, you have to be about, how do I make it better? President Wallace once told me one of the leadership secrets is he goes to work every day. How do I make it better? And so win, lose, or draw, that attitude, that mindset is, I think, what's infectious around here and gets me excited to come to work with Azusa Pacific.
And also on this week, is there a mindset from your players because of the way the first time you played them went? I mean, when teams lose the opponent and they get them a second chance, there seems always to be a much more attention to detail, and is that kind of what you think going in will happen?
I hope.
Okay.
I mean, reality is, Steve, it's just I think where you want, and I don't mean to be facetious, like, okay, well, this time, that was the warm-up. It's where you're maturing a team. We have a younger team this year, excuse me. This whole year is a younger team, and there are veterans and some key opponents. There's also a lot of young people playing, and that's exciting, and I love being a part of them. Can you say maybe there was some lack of focus last time we played them? You could maybe say that, but I would also say that it's a game, and every game's got to get your best folks. So for us, it's more growing up the team right now that we have to say, hey, this day demands your best focus. This opponent, nameless and faceless, they always demand your very best because you're going to put your body of work out there. And one thing I'm trying to grow up in this team is that if they could capture this learning lesson, this life moment, is that if you could say, I'm taking excellence every day, they're going to have a better life versus okay, what are the circumstances? Oh, okay, I'll focus now, or I don't necessarily need to focus. I'll live off margin. Those are the things I see in today, and that a lot of dreams are broken or stumbled upon, or stumbled in pursuit, because people are basing off their focus off of what they perceive the circumstances to be. In our program, we're trying to say, no, we control the focus, we control the standard, we control how excellent we're going to be. If it's not enough at the end of the day, then okay, we'll grow from that and keep learning. So there's a bigger overarching goal to answer your question that we're trying to achieve here. And yes, Steve, I anticipate there'll be more focus, because that's the life goal we're trying to teach these guys.
So, Coach, let's talk about, you said this is a young team.
Yeah.
If we are hitting the halfway mark,
Yeah.
believe it or not, in the season, where have you seen the most growth? And then also, where do you see the need for the most improvement now?
Yeah, that's a great one. I think I've seen a lot of growth in our defense. Those guys have really kind of stepped. I think they're understanding exactly where they need to be at. I see a lot of growth in in a lot of special teams areas. That the guys that during the game could be nameless and faceless, but when I evaluate the special teams film, man, a lot of growth. And you're seeing that's an area where I think we're doing pretty good. We're growing. Obviously, our field goal unit needs to improve quite a bit. But you overall see, oh man, we're doing pretty well, that we're growing in that area. Chad is still in his second year of playing a full year of quarterback, and I'm seeing him continue to get better, and I'm also seeing the running back game go well. And we got some guys in the O-line that I really appreciate where they're growing at. We have not achieved the standard yet where we have, and we're going to keep pushing forward to it. And young guys now are not young anymore, and I think at this time of year it's been a lot of good experience. Halfway through the season, and but if you try to rest right now, if you try to say, oh no, we're good, we're growing up, then I think even myself, none of us grow up all the way. So we got to keep growing as coaches and as players.
And Coach, I know you guys your team is, I think, still trying to put together a complete game early in the season. We were concerned about slow starts, and then this one you got a good halftime lead against a Humboldt State team.
Yeah.
How important are both of those elements? How do you get out to a good start against this type of a team? Yeah,
well, you're back to the whole thing. Who's your football team? What's your very best? And once again, I counter the question with there's our opponent this week, but you need to know, how do you get started fast, no matter who it is, no matter whenever your day of life is, you got to get going after it. So how do you do it? You make sure you identify, hey, here's some areas where some slip ups here, like we'll say red zone. We're 1-4 in the red zone last week. We really moved the ball well. I thought we did. It's just now it's getting to that point where you can't be 1-4 in the red zone. So we can have more focus on that of that red zone period. And one of the things we'll pay a lot of attention to our field goal unit this week, and make sure that these guys get the reps and get the stress they need to garner that focus. And in the overarching picture is, hey, how do you just take it moment by moment? How do you manage the moment? And it's easy, I think, it's a tendency of it's a gross generalization, but human beings can be like, you just don't appreciate what that moment really is doing for your overall future. And so we're trying to really counterculture that and say, man, own the moment, manage the moment, bring out your very best, and in that we're going to graduate some real difference makers.
And then my last thing is just going back to that last play. You talk about winning and losing being a data point, and 1 yard is the difference between a win and a loss. But just 48 hours later, how do you look at that play and Kurt's ability to fight and make guys miss and break tackles, and yes, the data point was 1 yard away from where everybody wanted it to be, but what stands out to you about that last play and the way your team fought at the end? Well,
you're always in the game, and that was a lot of fun to watch the very moment. I'm like, oh, hey, mate, whoa, here we go, and then it's one of those moments here, the individual effort that Scooby gave us. I think it really demonstrates the spirit of the teams. We're going to fight to the very end, and you wanted to go the other way. We've been on the other side of those great moments. You appreciate the determination, and it speaks a lot to his individual ability to make plays. But then, in the end, it's like we want to tell our guys that it's a great effort, appreciate it. I got a lot of phone calls about the effort, because you watch the play, it's exciting. If we make it in there in the end zone, we're on ESPN's top 10. Now it's just another memory. So that you and I can enjoy. So, but in that, it's sometimes, guys, it's just close enough. It's like, yeah, it's memorable, but it's not enough. And so we're focusing on an extra yard, and I think that's what it's a good metaphor for where our team is right now. We're there, we're close, and all that. And it's that extra yard where we're missing, and our veterans will embrace the challenge. Our newcomers will follow and get after it, and we're gonna find that extra yard this week.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.